seems like it's going great. Your reaction?
It's just so dumb and unnecessary.
Thank you.
And there is an argument that of every single player in his draft class, he should have been the first one signed. Now, there are some other great players in that draft class, like we talked about yesterday. Jamar is in that. That was a really good draft class. Pat Surtain, Jamar, Penei Sewell.
Yep.
But there's an argument that he's the best. So it certainly wouldn't have been ridiculous, and that he's the most accomplished through 3 years in particular, because his one down year was last year, and he could have been paid last year. There is no argument whatsoever that he should be paid last, which is what's going to happen. Of every single first-round pick in that draft that is going to get a contract extension, theoretically, he will be the last one to receive it. And it is, I think the Trayvon thing, Brew, is an interesting wrinkle to this, because it's an example of why I think the Cowboys just do business poorly. So Trayvon's mad because they docked him $500,000. But that is such a misstep by them, not in docking him $500,000, but in how they structure the contract. Because Lamar, just the last couple years, has missed out on more than $500,000 of workout bonuses. Most teams structure it, if you show up, you get extra money.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so there's like an old psychological thing where if you hand someone $50 and say, hey, you want to flip a coin for that 50? They will be like, no, I do not. Like, no, I have it now. But if you walk up to someone and say, hey, want to flip a coin for this $100 or I'll give you 50, then they'll flip the coin. Because it's something about I had the money and now I don't. The Cowboys structured Trayvon's contract in a way where he felt like he had that money and now you've taken it from him.
Yeah.
That's just a mistake. You know what I mean? There are just little things they do that can grate at the players. And Jerry's saying to the world, Micah missed some time and he might not be good and all those things, is just bad business. And it's just wildly unnecessary.
Yeah, look, the silver lining in all this, and you said it, him being probably the last paid in his draft class, is that he's going to become the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. That's the silver lining. And I'm glad for him because, honestly, in this negotiation, he's the adult in the room and maybe his agent. I mean, he said Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones haven't returned his agent's calls. Like, what is that about? I guess they got somebody else doing it, but still, one of them should talk to him just out of respect for who this player is for the Dallas Cowboys. And why are they doing it? Just for show? Like, we all know and believe to our core that Jerry Jones is going to pay Micah Parsons.
Sure.
So why are you doing this? Micah looks upset and bothered. And we can sit back and say he should be relaxed because he's going to get his money and it's going to be more than he would have gotten a month ago or a year ago. But I get it. When you're in that position, you still don't have the money in hand.
Correct.
You're not sure what they're going to do. So why are you upsetting your best player? So you can have the A segment, the A block on all these talk shows? So you can have a big reveal a month, a week, an hour before the opening game? Like, why are you doing this? Or because you're afraid he might get hit by a car on the way back from the practice facility? Like, what are we talking about? And so they're just fooling around. I would have more respect for the Cowboys' stance if 7 weeks from now or when the season starts,
didn't pay him.
Micah's not paid.
That's how I
then
felt
I would
about
see
Dak.
a plan.
Right. That's how I remember. That's what I was saying about the Dak thing, was that the Dak thing made so little sense. It had to be that they weren't going to pay him. You know what I mean? That they were going to let him play out the year and then see what happened. So
But when they pay him a week before the season starts, it's going to be like, what was all this for?
Right.
And you put your new head coach and your team at a disadvantage because Micah needs the back. I'm sure if he had his money, he'd probably be out there practicing. And I'm not mad. I think he's doing the right thing by doing a hold in. But he needs to be out there with his team going through every drill to give themselves the best chance of winning this season. And because of Jerry's foolishness, he's not.
Do you think there's any chance that he wants to pay Micah at the top of the market, where sometimes the media is looking at it like, oh, you could have saved $4 million, but Jerry wants to puff his chest out, and they want Trey Hendrickson's deal to come down? where we think it would be a negative, but
Trey,
Jerry actually
So I don't
wants
think
to go
Trey
over the top.
is. I don't think Trey is going to top TJ Watt.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, that makes
You know what I
sense.
mean? So I think that if that were the case, then all they needed to wait on was TJ Watt. You know what I mean? The Trey Hendrickson. Do you want to talk more Trey Hendrickson? We can. I know you don't usually like that topic.
A lot of Bengals contracts. We're big in the front office in Cincinnati. Tune in.
I don't think Trey is going to get a market-breaking deal. And so I understand your point. Like, I'll wait and pay the little extra so I can say, the Dallas Cowboys have the highest paid quarterback, the highest paid non-quarterback, the highest, all that. But they could do that today. You know what I mean? They could sign that today. I think it is partial headlines, news, whatever. And I also think it's partial. I'm Jerry Jones, and I work on my timeline and my timeline only. And you guys want, you know what I mean?
It feels like he's like cramming for the test. It's like how I treat some stuff in life. Like,
What
that's next week?
See,
I gotta book that flight.
So I think it's less that and more power. And more like,
That might
you
be
want
true.
it now, but it's not
That
what,
might be true.
you know what I mean? And
He doesn't care. He's got so much money, he doesn't care about the extra money.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. You mentioned they could bring on defensive players with the money they would have saved from signing Dak earlier.
Yeah, that's
you know
in the
who you could have
weeds.
got? How much did Derrick Henry get to go to Baltimore?
Oh, like
$9 million a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have easily had an extra $9 million laying around to bring in Derrick Henry.
Let's check in on Bears camp, which seems to be going swimmingly.
This guy is such a fraud. And by this guy, I mean Kevin Wildes.
I thought you were talking about Caleb. I was
That's
like,
what it
messed up.
sounded
I'm
like you were
that's
talking about
too
Caleb.
much.
He's on the screen.
We'll get into what happened today, but first we're talking about Caleb's goals. Last year he passed for around 3,500 yards, good for 17th in the league. Completion percentage at 62.5, just above Bryson Jameis, just below Aaron Rodgers. 4,000 passing yards, 70% completion percentage. Only 4 guys did it last year: Joe Burrow, Goff, Bake Show, and Geno. Is this a realistic personal goal?
I think it's a dumb goal.
Oh.
wow.
I think 70% completion is not only is it not important, I don't even know that it's good. So you did because here.
I mean, all those guys.
Yeah, but I think here's the last 4 years, every quarterback who posted a season of 70+ percentage. So Burrow's done it twice. Baker's good, Geno's good, Goff who's good, Tua last year, Jake Browning. No one did it in 22, no one did it in 21, or Burrow did it in one of those years. You know what I mean? The point being this, I think what a lot of those quarterbacks have in common is a lack of top-end arm strength, and because of that, they have to be more precision technicians. You know what I mean? Like, I think that as long as you are above 6, he was at 62.5 last year, that's too low. Right. I think the goal should be break 65, you know what I mean, in there, because I thought,
good enough.
Yeah, I thought that Caleb was too cautious last year.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so as far as if I were to set individual goals for Caleb, 4,000 yards, great one, 25 touchdowns, and a stat that I care about a lot, and actually my guy Mahomes was not good at it all last year, but I think historically is very important, is yards per attempt, at least 7 yards per attempt. And so here is guys who have averaged that over the last 4 years, and it's, some of the best quarterbacks in football. I think Lamar misses out because in that span of he missed time.
Yards.
The 4,000 yards, right.
Golf really out here.
Purdy would be in there. Well, the yards, the TD.
I think what hurts Purdy. Is he played half a season.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 7 yards per attempt is to me absolutely achievable and should be his goal. Now it's very hard to do year after year after year, but those would be my goals if I were Caleb for this coming year.
I think the 70% number is straight from Ben Johnson. Like I think they've been talking
Jared
about
Goff
that for
did
weeks.
it.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that's where he got that from. 4,000 yards is clearly possible. I mean, that's only 235 yards a game if you play all 17. Yeah. And so it's very doable. That's not what it used to be 20 years ago. 70%, I agree with you. It's not that important to me. I don't expect him to complete 70%, but I think it's possible that he could do that. To me, though, the goal shouldn't be so much numbers he's pointing to as just getting better. One, get rid of the ball faster. The 68 sacks he took, a lot of that was on him. He was only the 10th most pressured quarterback in the league, but he had 68 sacks, which is 16 more than the next highest guy, C.J. Stroud. So you got to get rid of the ball faster. He does need to be more accurate, so 70% would be around that. But the accuracy last year, he led the league in bad throws. So I'd be focusing on my accuracy, on being on time, as playing on time, because that's important to Ben Johnson.
Sure.
And that, because if Caleb gets on time and then he can make the wild plays when the play does break down, then you got something special there.
Then you got the guy who had 120 touchdowns and 14 picks in
right.
college.
And so that's what those should be the goals to me.
Why did you roll your eyes at
didn't.
that? I
didn't.
Hey,
I didn't.
KW, why do you believe in Drake May?
Ooh.
Is it because of what he did in his
in North Carolina?
Is it because of what he did?
Because he has a mythical reputation.
Right.
On the league,
Last year, no. Is it because of what he did with the Patriots or because of the prospect he was coming out of college?
Even in college,
I think it's the Patriots.
Progress.
There's nothing really to key on from last year other than Wild's fake yards.
He had
per
some
carry.
Well, the Titans game.
I just want, listen, because you're about to go ahead, bring up the thing from today.
No,
If
I
anyone
am
else
balanced.
Yeah.
I am balanced.
I would like to say, Caleb, independent of Caleb, here's a nice graphic about just number one picks, year 1 to year 2. This includes guys like the Prince. So, rookie year to second year, everything goes up. Passing yards per game go to 243, and since Josh did the last 10 years, this would equal out to over 4,000 yards
That
over
also
17
means
games.
Caleb had a better than typical number one pick rookie year. Because his win percentage was higher, his completion percentage was higher, his yards per game were higher, or right in line. Touchdown percentage, I don't know off the top of my head, and he had a higher passer rate. Right?
Yeah,
That's what
so this
means.
is a little bit of.
It's Trevor, it's Joe Burrow, it's Bryce, it's, if we're going to last 10 years.
It's not a fantastic list.
No, but it's just
That's
all the
okay,
number one
though.
picks. I mean, it's the
But
number
he's
one
been
picks.
better
I'm
than
trying to think if there's someone I'm missing
Rice,
like,
the Prince. Yeah, he's been better.
that just would bring everything down. In any event, I want your take on this tweet that I saw about Bears camp.
Yeah, sure.
Because things are getting lively in Bears camp.
Early.
Oh yeah, Courtney Cronin. The word intense was used a lot this spring to describe practice and the shared mentality of Ben Johnson as coaches. That carried over to day one, where the first team offense got thrown out of the drill by Ben Johnson. They couldn't get lined up properly, Brew. We saw that intensity on defense too. Dennis Allen, his players doing ups and downs. Allen said you got to pay the price. It's a privilege to be on the defense. That's right.
Here's what I think. Here's my honest
The coaches are
reaction.
locked in.
My honest reaction to that is, if someone had pitched you on us having that be in the show for any team other than the Bears and Ben Johnson, you would have kind of smugly talked down the producer at how dumb it was.
Well, allow me to retort.
Okay, please.
If this happened at Patriots practice, it would be Drake May can't get lined up.
It wouldn't be,
Mike
buddy.
Vrabel had
Buddy,
to shut down the drill.
Buddy, no, it wouldn't be.
That's
what
I'm not even
saying.
talking about you. Maybe I was saying
other
Brew.
people.
Maybe I'm saying Brew would have
he's
done
not.
that or something.
None of us, first of all,
Someone
would
on
have
the
happened at
internet.
Patriots practice. We would have only known if you told us about it, because none of us are dialed in to his
had
connection
puppies
with
at the
Jalen
practice.
Polk and Stephon Diggs almost losing the puppy he brought to practice. I think this is the fact that in the new head coach's first practice, one of the first drills, they didn't get lined up correctly, is as close to nothing as nothing can be. And I think it is for a guy.
Brew something or nothing.
For a guy.
Here's why I wouldn't say it's
he
nothing.
wouldn't even let us care about actual passing numbers from practice.
Right.
And now he cares about pre-snap, get it drilled.
No, I don't
But
care.
what I'm saying is, I think it's not nothing, because if it was nothing, Ben Johnson wouldn't have thrown him out. Like, Ben Johnson expects them to be able to line up properly. That's part of what I'm talking about with Caleb. That's part of what he's got to start doing. Now, I think he'll be fine, but I think this is good and a little shaky. Good in that Ben Johnson's setting a new standard, and so is Dennis Allen with the defense. I like that. That's hard coaching. All right. Bad in that this is why I think there will be some growing pains with Caleb just getting on
I
the
just
right
want
page
to
and
know,
doing
just for
everything
the
Ben
sake
Johnson
of the show, because there's a lot of training camps going on, and we have a lot of time. There's not a lot of sports going on.
I'm interested in it.
Is this now the type of thing we should flag across the league? Like, hey, the first team got scolded by the coach in drills.
Any tweet, Dusty? Can you write this down? Do you have the bylaws at first?
Yeah, I do. I can grab them.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We'd like to have an addition to the bylaws. Any tweet about training camp that includes the phrase, the first team offense got thrown out of a drill.
Okay.
I think is newsworthy.
Okay. And
whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Drake May, if Andy Reid throws Patrick Mahomes out of a drill, I think it's worthy of a.
Keep it real, Nick.
Okay.
If the Niners did that with their first team offense and Brock Purdy, you would want to lead the show.
He's thinking about buying a new tractor. He needs to focus on the drill.
All right, can I just say
not buying a new combine.
Listen, here, all right.
Oddly,
you wanted to talk about his interceptions last year.
Yes, I did think
you love
a spate of a ton of interceptions is more newsworthy than first practice, one of the first drills didn't get lined up. But that's me. Maybe I'm wrong. Brew, by the way, has found a way to bring up Brock Purdy in both of our first two topics, which are not Purdy related.
It's actually called a segue.
And now Purdy.
It's called a smooth segue. Nick didn't get it.
I put these away now?
Can I put yes, thank you. Did you add it to it?
Well, I will.
Kyle Shanahan
Look at old Brock.
believes in Brock and his potential. Purdy's deal, remember, Brew, pays him $265 over 5 years. Kyle thinks it's money well spent. Brew, are you ready to guarantee a Purdy bounce-back year?
I believe Brock Purdy will have a very good year.
See, I knew it.
I'm guaranteeing that he'll have a good year.
Because
here's the thing. Last year, bounce back. I mean, that bounce back is subjective.
What's he going to say?
Because here's the thing. Nick thinks he had horrible?
Not horrible.
Okay, bad year.
Bad
You
year.
think he had a bad year? I don't think he had a bad year. I think he had certainly a down year from what he'd done his first year and a half. But last year, they had the 13th highest scoring team in the league. With no Christian McCaffrey, with essentially no Brandon Ayuk. Even when he was there, he didn't play well. You know, Debo fell off last year, and they still were 13th. The defense was basically the worst in the league. That's why they had a 6-10 record. And I know only guys that judge
Wait a second. What was defense worse in the league in? Scoring
defense? No, almost. 29th.
In scoring defense?
29th in scoring defense.
Okay, go ahead.
Because to me, that's the most important defensive stat to me.
Scoring, I agree with you on that. Scoring defense, scoring offense.
But Purdy, 13th in the league in passer rating. And y'all mock me, roll your eyes and all that when I say this. But it's a fact. Better than Patrick Mahomes, C.J. Stroud, Geno Smith, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, the Prince, Trevor Lawrence. We still call him that? All right, and in a bad year, according to Nick Wright. He had a better passer rating than all them. He was third. You just said 10 minutes ago. One of the stats I love.
Yeah, yards per attempt.
Yards per attempt. He's always great now.
Yes.
Third in the league in yards per attempt with Jawan Jennings as his number one receiver. Fifth in the league in yards per game.
That's what you get.
Hold on. No, you have
we know all this. This is the question.
You don't know it because you said.
This is not the question.
This is my answer. I don't care what the question was. All right?
You guys
20.
Drew has guests here, and now he's doing all the show. We told you guys.
20 touchdown passes.
This is so well prepared.
You know who had 20 touchdown passes who I keep hearing about? Matthew Stafford, even though he played one more game than Purdy. So my point is this. I answered your question. I said Brock Purdy will have a bounce back year. I just said I don't think last year was as bad as some people thought.
Okay, all right.
I think the challenges that he was presented with last year will have made him a better quarterback.
This was the same thing we did before, where it was like he can be better, but his numbers will be worse, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
Do you think that at the end of, because right now, 5 through 15 is fluid.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's somewhere in there.
Yes.
Do you think that by the end of next year, you will consider him a definitive top 10 quarterback? Top 10. If 5 through 15 is fluid, and you think he's going to be better than he was last year.
Yeah, I think he'll be, at the end of next season, in the top 10. Definitive. That is still fluid.
No.
I think, I'm keeping it real. I'm giving you my answer. I'm not just going to say if Purdy has a great year, I'm not going to all of a sudden say, you know what? That 5 through 15 thing I had.
Better than Justin Herbert.
It's always fluid. Is he better than Justin Herbert?
Yeah, Herbert's been in a lot of these top 10
He has been better
lists.
than Justin Herbert.
Is he better than the Bake Show?
Herbert has more talent, but Purdy's been a better quarterback.
Bake Show is always in the top 10.
Right? I mean,
Well, now, just this past year.
So we just-
Mahomes,
Bake Show
Allen,
is now-
Lamar, Burrow, Hurts, Daniel,
Like,
Stafford,
those are the
Baker, Goff,
four.
Stroud. That's 10. That's not even including Herbert. So my question.
Oh, he could be better than Stroud for sure. He could be better than Herbert.
I didn't have Herbert in there,
Like
but
he
that's
could
fine.
be in the at the end of this season. Oh, you know what? He's 8.
Okay.
But that's still.
That's what
but
we're
then
asking.
the
What
next
you'll
year
guarantee.
it could
The question is,
it
will
could
you
fall
guarantee
out.
it? That's the
But the question wasn't, do you guarantee top 10?
Yeah, just bounce back.
Bounce
Right,
back.
but-
And
but
I
there's nowhere to
answered
bounce
that
back.
with the quickest.
Right, but you're-
he
but-
just didn't want to hear the
no,
stats
'cause you-
that refuted his narrative that Purdy was horrible last year.
Because you can't.
True.
If your stance is he has nothing to bounce back from, then
No.
we shouldn't do the question.
Because
gotta
he's
tell us
better
that
than
10.
he showed than the stats last year. Yeah, he had to
But
fall
the
back a
stats
little
were
bit.
good, but
I'm
he's
just
better
saying he
than
wasn't
the-
terrible.
Okay.
That wasn't terrible.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.